Yo, this is how I make like underground beats for maajins, artists like that. I'm play the full beat before I break it down, and I'll break down each sound and like how I got everything together. And yeah. So yeah, start out in 150 BPM, and this is how the master looks. Fresh air, soft clipper with these settings that I turned down some, a limiter with the gain a little bit down, and a compressor that I put on general 2 in presets or general purpose 2, and then turned it down. And for each sound, I went and I basically was making something more like melodic. I went into Electrica and grabbed this art, and originally this was how the melody looked. It was like this, and then I layered that with this sound, which sounds like this, which is another ARP. And I grabbed both of those sounds and hit Alt Y to flip them in the piano roll, and then I ended up exporting the melody, and I reversed it to hear how they would sound with the same chord progression as the first one, but flipped so I can hear all the sounds be reversed. I liked how that ended up sounding, and then I did that with more sounds. So I went in with Serum, the this synth, and I basically like laid this down as a little lead. And I went into Serum again, and I grabbed this pluck. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this pluck, and I laid this down. So after I used these 4 sounds for the melody, I ended up grabbing, like I said, I grabbed it and I flipped each sound in the piano roll horizontally so it would play each of the chord progressions but play the notes in reverse. So here's how that sounds. And that's pretty much it for the entire melody. And I would have flipped the notes back, but I like how these sound just with the with them kind of playing as more chords. So I kept the melody like that, and that's it for the entire melody. Just took, which I used that thing a lot where I flipped them horizontally, because it just gives like a certain effect to your beats. And yeah, after laying down some basically wide pads and arpeggios, put a lead over the top and a pluck over the top, I use like wider chords to just make something more like melodic. And that's it for the entire melody. And this part is just the melody reversed. For the drums, really just basic drums, nothing crazy. So starting out with the 808, it just alternates from these 2 notes, which are the notes in the chord progression, or at the root notes of the chord progression, and this is what they play. And then, oh, for the actual mix on the entire melody, I just have EQs cutting out the lows and then small reverbs, and then I obviously leveled everything in the channel rack. And then for the 808, I have a little EQ that boosts the bass and takes a little bit of the sub out, and then I'm pretty sure I have a small reverb on the clap. And then yeah, normal clap on top of it, normal open hats. That really, I just wanted to kind of like have everything have enough bounce in the beat. So the 808 with, or the clap with the 808 sounds like this. And then I added an open hat at the start of every 3 bars. Normal 2-step hi-hat. Open hat that does this little stutter right here. And then obviously to get that effect, go into the open hat like as it's an 808, how you cut it and make sure that it doesn't play by itself, and then go into here and add that little break before the next open hat comes in. So I added that one, and then lastly I added this open hat that plays every right here. Kept everything fairly simple because there is a lot going on with the melody, but even the melody, like coming for like making it, isn't really that complex. Yeah, I went over the master already. That's the mix on everything. And yeah, for these type beats, you just want to keep everything fairly simple and have everything come together and sound well. Because at the end of the day, I didn't really do a lot, but it just sounds good. It sounds like somebody could use it. And yeah. Uh, catch y'all in the next one. Like, sub, obviously, all that. And yeah, I'll catch